What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Your host with the most. You already know who it is. Bryce, my guy Cam. Another installment of I Need a Sports podcast, man. Today, I'm gonna be touching on a recap of week 1 of the NFL preseason. Football is finally back, even though it's not, what we about to see in the regular season. It's just good to see some football back in action. Something else on the TV screens besides baseball. A lot of big headlines after week 1, couple of key injuries, some key suspensions. One of them just came out today that we'll touch on. It's a lot to discuss, man. We 3 weeks out now of football, going into week 2. Actually, as we're recording this right now, Thursday night game between Seattle and Bears is going on. Bears are whooping Seattle's ass right now. It's 24-0. Could have locked that bet in, man. Had no idea. Man, let's get into this week 1 recap. It's a lot to talk about. It's just fun to talk about actual football now that we got something on paper, something on film, something to see, man. So we can kick it off with the first preseason game that started last Thursday. That was the Giants and the Pats. Now, my friend Cam here, he said he's a believer in Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes has not been looking good. All reports out of practice, all during training camp. Nothing too positive. Preseason game, I think he took like 3 mean sacks in that first quarter alone. Wasn't really hitting any type of throws. Wasn't getting any help from receivers like Kenny Gallaudet, who's also been very underwhelming, man.
Oh, he looks horrible.
Things aren't looking good in New York, man. What you think about? What you think so with Danny Dimes, man? I thought Dable would help him improve, but maybe it is Danny Dimes, man.
Like you said, I was a firm believer in Danny Dimes, man. I said he reminded me of a younger Eli Manning, and
He's
Jesus
looking like
Christ.
Eli right now.
He's looking like him, but maybe it's just early. I'm gonna just give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just early. Maybe just preseason. Maybe he just knocking off some rest. So. Let's just see how he do week 1 and then leading on to the other weeks in the regular season, and maybe he started doing something. But other than that, like you said, them practices. Oh my God! I remember I sent you a video of that one pass
where he threw it straight out of bounds on the out route.
Straight out of bounds.
Straight out of bounds, man. It looked terrible. I mean, it is week 1 preseason, so can't overreact too much. But like I said, reports out of camp, there's been nothing positive. And then to go out there on the field and showcase what they did wasn't really great. The Giants did win the game 23-21 on a game-winning field goal, but I mean, that's your backups winning the game versus the Patriots backups. You wanted to see some type of progression from Daniel Jones and company. Did not see that week 1. Hopefully see something better week 2. And then, like I said, another big story is Kenny Gallaudet, man. They paid him all that money. Didn't have a great year last year. Was having drop problems. This training camp, reports have been that hasn't been playing too well. And I want to say he dropped like 3 passes. And I remember one, he dropped right on the goal line. He could have had an easy touchdown to start off the drive. Daniel Jones actually had a good pass, hit him on a slant route, quick 3-step drop. All Kenny Gallaudet had to do was catch it and dive forward into the end zone. Hits his hands, drop. New York settles for a field goal, and that kind of just set the tone from there for that first string offense. And it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, it's the first week, but that's something you want to see your team capitalize on, especially the starters, see that they're hitting on all cylinders. And man, it just wasn't it for them, man. On the flip side, though, New England, Mac Jones didn't play. They're still interesting to see because Bill Belichick got this whole thing going on right now where don't know if Matt Patricia or Joe Judge is going to take or make the offensive play calls as the offensive coordinator. So I believe Patricia started out the game with Brian Hoyer, and then Joe Judge had the third string. He was calling plays for them. Still no word from Bill Belichick. You know how he is. It's a process, and He's never going to give any answers. Him and Saban are the best at that. Never going to
Yeah.
give the press the answers they're looking for. But wide receiver Taekwon Thornton, he looked pretty good for New England. And I mean, if he's is able to keep that up going into the season, they might look to trade Nelson Aguilar because they're kind of the same mold, same build, and that's a way cheaper deal because he's a rookie wide receiver than compared to Nelson Aguilar's contract. So they might be able to ship him off if Aguilar isn't producing because I haven't heard too much about him either.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because when they did get him, I was like, okay, now Nelson Aguilar, like, coming from Philly, he should do something, but
So maybe a revival. I mean, he had that great year during the Super Bowl run
that's what I'm
and kind of
saying.
fell off after that. But it's like, okay, new place, chance to kind of regroup. Usually sometimes all it takes is going to a new environment to get players back to, what they used to be, but hasn't looked that way for him. Like I mentioned before, I don't think New England has not near enough on that in that wide receiver room to help Mac Jones, who also they've been saying, Mac Jones came out himself and said, yeah, he's been struggling this offseason in the training camps and stuff. Hopes to get it
Oh,
together, but man, people was banking a lot on Mac Jones after last year. Even though I mean, it
it sure
some
was.
people were, I think, overemphasizing and saying it was a great year. It was a decent year for Mac Jones.
Uh,
It was decent, but definitely has a lot to build on. But he hasn't looked too good yet. But like I said, it's just week one of preseason, so let's see how these teams progress, and then of course the regular season when that comes, that's a whole waiting period in itself too. But as of right now, Giants and Pats both not playing too great of football, but we'll see how that turns. In the second game on the slate, man, I'm just saying now, man, if y'all don't know what to bet in the preseason, and you're like, man, I don't want to bet this team, I want to bet that team, bet the Baltimore Ravens, man.
Bet them. Put all
All
your
they
money.
do is win preseason games. That was they beat the Titans 23-10. That was their 21st win in a row in the NFL preseason. They haven't lost dating all the way back to 2016. And if you want to take it a step further, you can even bet the spread because in those 21 games, they're 19-2 against the spread. So
God damn.
Baltimore is a lock. Now that we're saying this, watch them just
No, that
miraculously
probably
lose this week.
they
But
probably
hey,
will.
man, Baltimore is a lock. If you got nothing else, play that. They got I want to say Arizona this week, if I'm not mistaken, and they're -5. Yeah, Arizona. I'm taking it to the bank,
Oh
man.
yeah, they
Lock it in.
like that shit in. They definitely gonna lose because I'm betting on them this week. So they they definitely finna lose. So just remember this. Just remember this. They definitely finna lose this week because I'm definitely betting on them guys.
Yeah. If y'all lock that bet in and then they lose, that just tells you that you shouldn't be betting because no way you missed out on 21 games in a row. In the 22nd game that you bet they lose.
They lose.
That's some funny stuff. They did cash out for me last week. That was my first official pick on the page. Easy dub, man. Something about the Ravens in preseason. They just get it done.
Mhm.
They drafted a new tight end. He looked great. They're probably gonna run some double tight end sets with Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews is probably gonna draw a lot of attention because there isn't too much else besides Rashad Bateman. But man, if he can play like he was playing in the preseason game, and you got Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman pans out, man, hey, Lamar could be right there in that MVP talk like you mentioned, and I'm still sticking to my guns. Ravens taking that AFC North, man.
Oh yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that too. They definitely taking that AFC North after what we just heard.
Oh yeah,
We'll get
we'll
to
get
it,
to that.
but
Look, they're 2 games away. We'll get to that. Yeah.
yeah. But nah, like you said, that new tight end, he did look. I was hearing some things. He did look.
They threw one to him. It was he ran like kind of a seam route, and corner was didn't turn around. He just went up there and got it right over his head, came down with it, and the safety came over the top, hit him. He still just held on to the ball. He looked great, and I mean, I'm hoping, for Lamar's sake, he does pan out because he needs as much receiving talent as he can get, so he can showcase his talent. Because I'm tired of people saying, he's a run first QB. Like, he can just run that great.
Yeah.
That y'all call him that. But I mean, he can definitely throw the ball when he has to, and I'm excited for him. Like I said on the last or a couple episodes ago, put on like 25 pounds of muscle, looks completely jacked up. It might be scary in Baltimore. I will say their safety Kyle Hamilton is probably looking like they're probably gonna ease him into that role. He won't probably be starting when the season first starts. He didn't really take any reps with the first team. Gave up a few missed tackles. Wasn't looking too good, but I mean, rookie in his first game, maybe with some jitters. Who knows? Give him some more time to grow. But on the flip side, last year they were injury riddled everywhere. Some of those players are starting to file back in. They just upgraded Dobbins and Marcus Peters off the PUP list this week. They're both back in practice. I think Marcus Peters is questionable to play this upcoming game versus Arizona. J.K. Dobbins probably still out, but they got Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, so they're still good in the running back room for now. But their talent is coming back slowly but surely. If they could just get healthy and stay healthy, man,
watch out.
Watch out, because I will say this: maybe there is some truth to Lamar might not be able to win playoff games, but the Ravens in the regular season are one of the best teams year in and year out. And they were damn near in the playoffs last year until Lamar got hurt and was out for 6 games. Is that's really the only reason Cincinnati was able to get first is because the Ravens just got too injured and they fell off. That was about it. But they were still holding up even when Lamar was battling his injuries. And it just became too much. So, hey man, they're healthy. Look out. They could easily get 13 14 wins if the Cards play right for them in this regular season, man. I'm excited to see them.
For sure.
On the Titans end, man, not yet. But hey, man, Willis time is on the horizon. Malik Willis.
He's getting there.
It was a little rough start. I expected it, to be a rough start. His first game. But he got it together slowly but surely. Kind of made me mad because Vrabel came out and said, he would have liked for him to throw the ball a little bit more, and he wasn't happy with him doing so much running. But I mean, he's a dual threat quarterback, and the legs are part of what makes him great. Literally, he escaped the pocket, escaped like 2 would-be sacks, and ran up down the sideline for like 10 yards, made Kyle Hamilton miss, and dove into the end zone for a touchdown. Like, come on, man. Give the man his props. Had like a 60-yard bomb still off his back leg, arm strength through the roof. And because because Vrabel wasn't happy with him not throwing the ball enough, he took him out, put in the backup, who immediately then threw 2 interceptions. Part of the reason the Ravens were able to easily handle them. But man, if Ryan Tannehill don't get it done this year, he's probably out of there.
Oh yeah, for sure out of there.
He's for sure out of there. And
I can't wait to.
In my opinion, the Titans' best year, if they ever had a chance, was 2019 when they made it all the way to the AFC Championship. Had my Chiefs on the rope. They should have took care of business then, because these last 2 years, that's the team they are. They're not they're not contenders. They're pretenders. I know your boy Ashton probably watching this. Not gonna like what I have to say, but
he gonna be pissed.
Hey man, prove me wrong. They are pretenders. I'm standing on that, and I think they fall off this year for sure. Because even their number 1 or their first round draft pick Burks, who they got to replace Brown, I think I read a stat that he was the first wide receiver since I think Corey Coleman to be drafted in the first round and play into the second half of a preseason game. Dude played 30 snaps, got 1 target.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, hey, if that's gonna be y'all's Brown replacement, I don't know about this year right now. And I don't know if he's even gonna make it into a starting role week 1. So that's something to keep your eyes on. But yeah, man. Tennessee, not looking that great. I hope they let Malik Willis stay on the bench, learn a little bit, not throw him into the fire. Ravens, preseason lock, man. Lock it in.
Lock that shit in for sure.
For
Easy
sure.
money, easy money.
Easy.
Well, it should be easy money, but
Look, knock on wood, knock on wood.
like I said, man, I'm betting this week, so shit, we gonna see.
We gonna see, man. Next up, we got boys in Atlanta versus them guys from Detroit, man. I'm excited to see Detroit this year, man.
Man, me too. Dead ass, like
I,
for real.
I know the clips have been on Twitter. I don't know if you sat down and watched any of the episodes of Hard Knocks. I haven't either, but I actually have time now. I'm off work for the week, so I definitely plan to tune into some of those, man. Like we were saying, Detroit can be a sneaky team. They got talent. They're playing hard for their coach.
Mm-hmm.
They can make some noise in that NFC North. Because there's a lot of question marks there. And I mean, the division is kind of for the taking. And I'll discuss a little bit more on that later. But man, they get Jeff Okudah back, their number 3 overall pick from 2020, cornerback out of Ohio State. Tore his Achilles last year, but now he's back healthy. They were playing Aiden Hutchison, their number 2 draft pick this year. He was playing inside on passing downs. Had 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB pressure. He was getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
Said the offense, Jared Goff is a very serviceable quarterback. Got Hutchinson and then man Williams in the backfield. Man, he make me a believer just by him alone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know if y'all know, if the viewers will know what I'm talking about, but like I said, the Detroit Lions are the featured Hard Knocks team this year, and a clip came out to start off the first episode where Williams was not damn near, he was in tears, crying, telling the team like, man, look at that record last year, like that's not acceptable. We way better than that. Like we can win some games, and the passion he had in his voice, shit, I believed it.
Facts, this shit made me want to put on some pads and
It
go play
made me want to go
shit.
out there and go get me some in. We're like, man, I hope for his sake, they able maybe not make it to the play, but I hope they're able to win some more games this year. But man, Detroit could be a sneaky team. They did lose 23-27. Atlanta, they look pretty decent. They have running back Quadri Wilson. He took the running back 1 snaps. He got 33 yards on 5 carries, so that was a pretty good outing from him. If he keeps that up, he probably will lock in that number 1 spot. Unfortunately for Atlanta, their draft pick Drake London, wide receiver, who I'll say supposed to be in tandem with Kyle Pitts, literally the first play gets a catch, gets injured. Now, thank God they said it's not too serious. It was an injury to his knee. But we probably won't see him for the rest of preseason as a precautionary measure. And hopefully he's all healed up for the season to start. But Mariota looked good. Desmond Ridder had a little bit of problems. He was 10 for 22 in the game, but decent. His first outing as a quarterback. And again, I don't think he's going to see any real time this year unless, like Mariota is just that bad. I think this is Mariota's year for now. And maybe next year we'll see how he progresses. Maybe he could get in. But hey, man, Atlanta, they also dropped the NFL top 100 players list. They've been coming out with that. All the reviews or all the player comments that they had to say about Kyle Pitts, man, dude is the real fucking deal. If you're looking for a fantasy tight end pickup,
oh yeah.
You can't get the Travis Kelce, the Mark Andrews, the Darren Wallers. Get Kyle Pitts, man.
For sure.
He is about to have a breakout year. I'm calling it. Pretty sure Cam has called it on a previous episode. I Need a Sportscast is pro Kyle Pitts, man. Lock that in.
Lock that shit in, man.
He's going to have a stellar year as long as he stays healthy, man. They literally was like, man, he's like a receiver in a tight end's body. Like, there's no way he should be this big, running this fast, and his hands are strong as hell. Like, they were showing a few clips from this past year when they played Miami, and dude had like 3 or 4 catches all on Xavier Howard head. And as you know, that's my number 2 CB on my list. So, hey man, you can get it done versus him. You can get it done versus anybody. Atlanta and Detroit, both two teams, don't expect too much from them, but excited to see, where they go this year, because this year is kind of what lays the foundation for their futures moving forward, see what they can build on. But really excited to see both those teams.
For sure, man. For sure, for
Next
sure.
up, man, who we've been alluding to since the beginning of the episode, had the Browns versus the Jags. And now, today that we're recording this is Thursday, August 18th. They just came out with the official ruling Deshaun Watson has been suspended 11 games.
Yes, sir.
And just so conveniently happens that
Yes,
those 11
sir.
games suspended takes him right into his first start of the season being week 13 versus the boys in Houston. Hey, I think you had said it when we first talked about him a couple episodes ago. I might just go to that game just
Got to, bro.
Just to be in the atmosphere and hear all. Oh man, you gonna be able to hear the boos from down here, at least.
Oh, that is for sure.
All the way to Houston.
I tell you what, that's gonna be our first. That's probably our only sold out game the whole year. It's gonna be that game, and I'm telling you, he gonna hear us. He is going to hear us. You can hear some wild shit.
He might need Secret Service getting into that game. I'm not
low
gonna
key.
lie.
He might. He literally might.
And shoot, he didn't. I mean, he been out for a whole year, and some change now. He did not look good at all.
No, it looked like he was out for that long.
It looked like he was out for that long. Looked like Jilly been cooking him them good meals, and he ain't been playing and practicing. Man, and you got to wonder how much all this does weigh on his mental. I mean, even though it's all his fault, but say that week 13, Max bet Texas, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I got to, man. I think that game is gonna be a living hell for him.
They better not give us the under. I tell you that, cause
I'm praying Vegas make y'all the underdogs. I need
to the moon.
That plus money, boy. Bet in the house. Don't do that, y'all. Don't do that.
We are not promoting gambling, man.
Yeah, man. Browns. So Deshaun Watson out 11 games. I mean, I would think they're just gonna roll with Jacoby Brissett. It's been rumors that people are saying, oh, they should try to trade for Jimmy G, but it's like, why trade for Jimmy G if you're gonna Deshaun's gonna come back and he's not guaranteed the money this year, but he is guaranteed $230 million for whatever reason from y'all. So it really doesn't make sense for me to go spend money trying to or trade to get Jimmy Garoppolo unless they really think, that Jimmy can, lead us just enough to where Deshaun can help carry them into the playoffs by the time he comes back. But with their team build up, I think Jacoby Brissett should be able to do just enough. I feel like, but if they can, it'd be interesting to see Jimmy G in Cleveland. Because at the end of the day, somehow Jimmy Garoppolo wins games, even though I still don't think he's a good quarterback to this day. But he wins games, so he can't knock him. Unfortunately for the Browns, though, they did lose their center a few plays into the game. So that's going to hurt that offensive line. And they're definitely going to need a healthy offensive line to get through these 11 games because they're going to have to rely on that run game for sure. And I'm sure teams are going to be stacking the box as is with Chubb. They have some kind of turmoil with Kareem Hunt, who requested a trade. They said, we're not trading you. So we'll see how that plays out. But man, some funny times in Cleveland. I still don't know why they did what they did, but man, they're here. He should have been suspended all season. But yeah, Brown's gonna Brown, man. Brown's gonna Brown. What you think happens after? Like how do you think Deshaun Watson's season gonna play out once he comes back?
Once he comes back, they have like a tough little stretch. I believe they have like I want to say they gotta they gotta play Baltimore. Oh no, okay. I see right now. After they play us, they gotta go to the Bengals. Then they play, I know, right? Then they play Baltimore in Cleveland. Then they play the Saints in Cleveland, and they finish off with Washington and the Steelers. So I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be before he comes back. It's all gonna depend on that run game and that defense. If that defense is on point like it should be, they should be okay. They should win like at least half the games. But if not, if that defense is not up to par and then the run game is not up to par, because the run game is definitely one of the things on offense that they're gonna have to really, you know, focus on. But yeah, if they can't get that run game going and that defense can't get going, I only see them win about like 2 or 3 games before he come back.
Yeah, that would have them around 3-8.
Yes,
That's already out of the playoffs basically in that division.
out of it.
Baltimore and Cincinnati are gonna be right there neck and neck, and you still got the AFC West, so it's only gonna be one division that gets 3 playoff teams in, and I would suspect it either be the AFC North or the AFC West. So they're definitely gonna have to, have that run game hitting on all cylinders to start the season to carry them forward. As far as the Jags go, I mean, they're saying this is gonna be, better year for Trevor Lawrence. I'm still not a believer. I know he was the best high school prospect, best college prospect. But Jacksonville is just not a good team to be. And I actually pretty sure I was watching First Take this morning. I'm pretty sure it was either Stephen A or Mad Dog. They had Jacksonville finishing 8-9. And y'all finished like 5-12. And that's how the division rounded out. And I was like, I can see that flip the other way.
Flip
like
the other way. Yeah.
I don't think Jacksonville has enough to make that much noise this year. And especially like anything is gonna be better than what they did last year. Especially in Trevor Lawrence's case with 12 TDs, 17 picks. Like anything gonna be an improvement with that. But 8-9, I don't see that happening. Like I said, the least I got y'all finishing is third, but Jacksonville, I got them locked in last place. I think they're the last place team, and it's gonna be between y'all and Tennessee fighting for that second spot to get into the playoffs, man. And that being said, move forward to Cardinals and Bengals. Not really too much to touch on here. Both starting quarterbacks, for the majority of most of the starters on both sides, or both teams didn't really see too much action. Joe Burrow recovering from, he just had appendectomy surgery, I think a couple weeks ago now. He is back running and back with the team, just not, ready for any games. And I don't even think he really will play in the preseason. If so, it will be the last game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't expect him to not be ready week 1. He'll be ready to go. On the flip side, Kyler Murray got his money. He's not playing. Got his bag. Can't injure him preseason.
Shit, he probably playing Call of Duty right now.
Yeah, not getting his 4 hours of study.
That's wild. Like I've never heard anything like that. Like it's I don't know if the right word for it is incentive or whatever, but I've never seen that in somebody's contract. Like he has to get 4 hours of studying it. Like that's messed up.
Man like he's Jamarcus Russell. And it was funny because after they said that, Kyler came out and said he's like, I'm actually flattered, like y'all would think like I got to this level. Because I mean, let's call it what it is. Kyler Murray's been arguably the best at every level throughout his life.
He's a winner.
The greatest high school Texas football player ever. That is without a doubt, no questions. Like I think was it 43-0 from his sophomore year through senior year, 3 state titles at Allen. Goes to college. Starts off kind of slow because he went to garbage ass A&M, as we talked about in the last episode. Love you, Colton, because Colton listened to this. He said I was hating on them. But then after that goes to OU, wins the Heisman, plays baseball at the same time, gets drafted in the lottery of the MLB, goes number 1 in the NFL. Like if he was doing all of this without studying, like he
must have been.
He'd be the best in the world.
Yeah, real
on
cold
raw
motherfucker.
talent. But like Arizona was wrong to ever even put that clause in the first place,
Yeah,
and they took it out now. But it's like,
that's
why
fucked.
put that there in the first place, and then why let it get out that was in the contract? So that's just going to be a running media take all year, especially if they have problems. Like, is Kyler studying enough? When in reality, as I've said before, Cliff Kingsbury fucking sucks. That's the Arizona's problem. They don't have a good coach. He cannot coach at the college level, at the NFL level. He can't coach. But they paid Kyler, so if they fall off this year, they don't have no choice but to get rid of Cliff because they can't get rid of Kyler now, especially with that
Nah,
contract.
definitely can't get rid of him. He got that fat ass contract now, so you gotta see it through it.
Got to see it through.
Yep.
And for them, Tracy Mcsorley played, former Penn State quarterback. He actually had a pretty decent game, threw for 2 touchdowns. Was the rushing leader with like 32 rush yards on 4 rushing tips, I think. And his favorite target was Andy Isabella. Another nice little receiver, came from a small school last year. He's probably going to have to pick up some slack to start off the year with the suspension to DeAndre Hopkins. So it'll be interesting to see how, Kyler chooses which, receiver is his go to, because they kind of
Marquise
got,
Brown hurt, huh?
yeah, Marquise Brown is hurt too.
Yeah.
So they got AJ Green, Rondell Moore, and Andy Isabella probably. That's probably going to be their go tos week one if Marquise can't get healthy enough. But I mean, that's more than enough, I think. But week one, you know who they got. My
Yep.
my boy, it's in Arizona, but we're gonna touch on my team later. Man, you know who I got locked in for that one, man.
Oh yeah,
And
we know,
I think
we
we
know.
opening up as 3-point favorites. So low key, I might just go bet that right now while it's still locked in and don't raise any to 3.5 or 4. But after that, got the Jets versus the Eagles. Something wrong with New York football and New York quarterbacks, man. They have all the hope in the world that these quarterbacks gonna figure it out, and it's just not looking too good.
Not looking good at all.
Zach Wilson looked awful. He threw an interception his first drive where they literally had Salah on camera saying, "I can't believe he threw that." And it's like he telegraphed the pass the whole way, picked. Next drive, trying to run and pick up a first down, cuts. Looked
Fucking
really
shit up.
bad because it was a non-contact knee injury. Say it's just a torn meniscus. He's probably out 2 to 4 weeks. That he probably not playing week one. If I was
Probably
him, I
not.
wouldn't try to play him, force him to play week one. Just roll with Joe Flacco, especially since they came out and said, Salah said Joe Flacco is a starting quarterback in today's league still.
I'm like, wow, well that's
Yeah, way to show confidence in,
yeah.
in your lottery draft pick, Zach
That,
Wilson.
that'll get them going. Like,
But
come
yeah,
on.
but as you can see on the display from what he did on the field, that's probably why he said that.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson not looking good, but Jets they've kind of already gotten hit by that injury bug. It sucks because it's bound to happen to somebody every year. Kai Becton out, so they were gonna move Dwayne Brown over, but they actually ended up picking up another lineman to fill in Becton's spot and keep Dwayne Brown on that right side of the ball. But man, if you got line problems as is and you got a struggling quarterback, those two definitely do not mix well. Um, I said, the Jets could be sneaky team, like maybe make some noise. That's not happening
Yeah, I
this
don't
year.
see it right now.
Thought Zach Wilson was gonna look better, and I don't see him even when he does get back play. I don't see him doing what I initially thought he could do before training camp and all that started. And Garrett Wilson, he's looking like wide receiver 4 as of right now. They got some veterans in their wide receiver room, so I mean it's kind of understandable, but yeah, not looking too good for the Jets. They did win the game, but like I said, as far as their starting unit, it didn't look too good and didn't look like there was too many bright spots with that. On the other side, though, Eagles, man, it looked nice.
That boy looked nice. Jalen Hurst looked nice, man. He looked real
It's hurt
good.
season,
And
yes sir.
he was throwing that ball around, man. He was throwing that rock around. Very nice. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see them this year. They're gonna be very exciting.
They're gonna be really excited. And reports out of camp is Brown is his go-to, and they got Slay and Bradbury. Brown is punking them in practice. They say
Damn.
those are top two corners right there, and Hurts is hitting them on a dime. Like you said, man, I'm excited to see them. I hope they take the NFC East. Shut up all them Cowboys fans out there who think they're taking it. But the East, I think, is definitely theirs for the taking. It was kind of scary at first, but I mean, Jalen Hurst is probably one of the toughest dudes in football, flat out. That first drive of the game, he was running, was already out of bounds by like 2 steps, gets hit in the helmet, late hit and helmet to helmet.
It's a hard hit too.
By Jets defender. And I will say, you got to love the passion Sirianni brought, sticking up for his players, especially his, star quarterback. He yelling, fuck you to Salah from across the field multiple times, the camera just picking up every word. Commentators like, I don't think we can say what he's saying on but you like to see that passion and riding for your guys. And on the defense side of the ball, man, Jordan Davis out of Georgia, he's the real deal too, man.
Real deal, man.
Eagles look very solid on both sides of the ball. It's gonna be interesting. If they don't win the NFC East, it'd be a failure of a year. Like at this point, that just is what it is. That's the expectation. They need to win the NFC East. They probably need to win at least one playoff game. I don't know if they're ready to win 2 and make it to a conference championship. If the dice roll the right way, they get the right matchup. Who knows? Maybe they could. But as far as this year, I don't think that's best case scenario is NFC championship in my eyes. But if they make the divisional, I'd say that was a successful season to build on from here on out. But that touches on that game. Next game, I want to talk about this one too. Packers and 49ers, man.
Oh my God.
On the stat sheet, it's going to look really bad for Jordan Love. But he threw 3 interceptions. But not a single one of those interceptions was his fault. And then it literally comes out a couple days ago this week. Aaron Rodgers calls out all the receivers. And some commentators some analysts took offense to that. Thought, he could have handled that inside the locker room. Shannon Sharp was very vocal about that. Skip Bayless, of course, he already don't like Rodgers as is. So he was on. They were actually in agreement on this. But Rodgers came out and said, receivers aren't running the right routes, not catching the ball. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to, they're not going to play. He said Allen Lazard is his wide receiver 1. Randall Cobb is a solidified slot. He said one of the best slot receivers in the game. He talked about Sammy Watkins. Like I said, Sammy Watkins, that's a big if him staying healthy. But other than that, wide receivers were not looking good. Had one literally drop, hit him right in his hands, drop, interception. Another one, he literally let the DB snatch it right out of his hands. And then the third interception Jordan Love threw, the wide receiver ran the wrong route. Now, nobody knew that watching the broadcast, but of course, like I said, that comes out later in the week via Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So, man, life without Devontae Adams could be kind of iffy.
Yeah.
I don't know. But on the bright side, they did just activate Robert Tonyan and their rookie wide receiver Christian Watson off the PUP list this week. I didn't even know I guess he had a minor offseason surgery to his knee, I believe, but he's back healthy. So hopefully he can, step in and get it right away, or at least do better than what these other receivers are doing. Or Rodgers is going to be strictly throwing to Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Watkins, and that is it. Because he will not throw it to them if he does not trust them.
For sure, he will not. Also seen like a report that they're gonna be having AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones on the field like that at the same time a lot this year. So I would expect, for sure. I expect Aaron Jones to be one of his top target guys this year also. So just watch out for Aaron Jones, man. He should have a a good year receiving wise, I feel like this year. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, they probably gonna end up splitting him out wide a little bit more and just
For
put
sure.
Dylan in the backfield on quite a few downs if the receiver room is as bad as they're saying. But on the flip side, man, it's Trey Lance time in San Fran,
Trey
man.
area.
Man, he looked good. He looked good.
Man, he looked great.
I'm still nervous for him just because all the expectation they have. Because I mean, at the end of the day, say what you want about Jimmy Garoppolo, like I was saying, he's not a good quarterback, whoop de woo, but made the NFC Championship game twice, led them
He's
to
a
Super Bowl.
winner.
So literally,
He's
in
a
order for
winner.
Trey Lance, for people to call Trey Lance's season a success, they literally have to make the NFC Championship game at the least. And that is not fair by any
That's not
means
fair.
on not a rookie quarterback, but it's his first year fully starting and taking over the offense. I know he got a few snaps here and there last year, but now it's his team. So of course there's probably gonna be a learning curve. And I know we were big proponents of, Shanahan's offense, his system just works. But they actually lost their center and they have 3 new offensive linemen on the interior going into this year. So like we're really about to see if it is Shanahan's system and it's just plug and play, or if they struggle with the offensive line. Still got Trent Williams covering his blind side, so that's great. Got the best left tackle in the game right there. But
Okay.
across the other line or across the rest of the line is some question marks there. And that's the worst thing if, a first time quarterback and your line is bad. So I hope they're able to figure that out quick, not get my boy killed back there in his first couple starts. But the rest of the team definitely gonna have to step up in San Francisco and help them, get to where they need to go. And I mean, everybody, even Shanahan came out and said, like, he wouldn't have made this move if he didn't like what he saw and like the potential in Trey Lance. It's just a matter of this potential breaks through this year. I mean, it could not break through this year, and he can still go on to lead them to Super Bowls in the future. But if he doesn't lead them right away, man, I would not panic. But you
I
just
wouldn't
know
either.
with the way social media is nowadays, that's gonna be all the headlines of panic. Like, should they have kept Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, man, like, let the kid grow. He looked great. Preseason 1 through what was it? I think was first drive he throws like a 69-yard touchdown pass. Like, he's got an arm, he's got legs. Excited to see him in Shanahan's system. That play action is probably gonna be crucial,
Crazy.
killing him. But man,
Play action to Kittle. Oh my God, that's gonna be
it's gonna be
nasty
wide open
every time.
every time. It's gonna be wide open every time. I'm rooting for him. Hope he has a successful season. But like I said, man, NFC Championship or bust. That's what they're gonna say. But that's not really the case. Next up, it's my favorite team. You know what I'm talking about, man.
Let's talk
My
about it.
Chiefs. We took an L. I also put them out. It was really my fault. My gut was telling me because Andy Reid had said prior to the game, Mahomes and the starters were supposed to get the whole first quarter. So my gut was telling me I should just bet the Chiefs first half and leave it at that. But I was thinking since it's the Bears, our backups could, still take care of business and we would probably have a good enough cushion by the end of the game to hold on and win. We had a great cushion to start off with. And then the backups completely sold the whole second half, did not score. We were up 14-0 going or to end the first half. So definitely should have taken the first half bet. But man, I know it's Chicago. I know it's preseason. But that first drive, man, boys look great. Home 6 or 7, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. All 6 of those receptions went to 6 different targets. You don't know where it's coming from this
You don't
year.
even know, yeah.
And Juju didn't even get a catch. They look like they didn't miss a beat. Like, ball getting out when it's supposed to. Even had a typical Mahomes play where kind of gets pressured. It's 3rd and 8, a 3rd and long situation. Gets out. Looks like he's about to run it. Scantling breaks across. First down right on the goal line. Sets us up for the touchdown, man. like I said, man, that's my quarterback. That's my MVP pick, man. I'm excited, and he's been the talk of training camp this whole time. Isaiah Pacheco, our 7th round pick out of Rutgers, running back, is looking like he will solidify running back 2, and he might move into running back 1 by the time as the season goes on. And because of that, I don't know if Rojo's going to be able to make the roster because I think they're going to keep
Ooh.
Clyde, Pacheco, and McKinnon. And
Yeah.
they said Rojo hasn't really, been producing. So,
Told you he's butt.
hey, I'm not mad with Pacheco. He in his few looks, he runs violent. He can break tackles because after threw that pass to Scanlon on the 3rd and 8, first play, Mahomes takes the easy pass to check down to Pacheco. We're at the 10-yard line. Pacheco gets hit as soon as he catches, breaks it right off, gets 5 more yards, takes us deeper into the red zone, and from there we're able to throw the screen pass to Blake Bell, score a touchdown, man. The offense, like, sure, we might not have as many big plays like the Tyreek plays, but I think we're gonna be just as efficient because you literally do not know where the ball could go to. Like, yes, Tyreek is a great talent, but just think when you played us and we had Tyreek, that's an easy key for defenses because that's probably Mahomes' first look on every play.
Yeah.
Now you really don't know his first look. Like, yeah, you could say it's Kelsey, but like as far as the other 3 receivers that are going to be on the field, you don't know who's getting the ball.
That's a
And they all could
scary
do a
sign.
little bit of everything. I will say next week or week 2, I hope we see a little bit of more of Sky Moore running with the ones because I don't think he got any time with the ones. But like I said, they only got 1 drive, so it is what it is. But Sky Moore, McCole, who unfortunately he just pulled his groin this week, so we'll have to watch that. But him, McCole, Juju, Valdez Scantling, and I don't know if you got to see any of our clips, but who scored our 2nd touchdown on the 2nd unit? Some dude from Penn. He played on Tampa when they won the Super Bowl. He's now with us. His name is Justin Watson, number 84. He is nice. He
Yeah.
had, I think he had 5 catches for like 40 yards in the TD. He's getting the wide receiver 5 spot. Like, there's no doubt about it. So Josh Gordon's probably out of there. They said he's been
Ooh.
dropping passes all camp, but I can't be mad at it because from what I seen, even though I said it's preseason, this Justin Watson kid looked really good, and that's just gonna probably be another sleeper guy where it's like 1 or 2 games out of the year, it's like, who is this guy that had 8 receptions for like 70 yards and helped the Chiefs win? So we got talent all over the wide receiver room, man. I'm excited. Defense looked really good too. George Karlaftis was making some noise in the backfield. I will say on the other side, Justin Fields looked pretty good himself. They had all his drives thought out, but he was making some great down the field throws, had some good catches from his receivers. But it just sucks to see him stuck in Chicago, man.
Chicago, so shitty for him. I feel like I said earlier. I feel so bad for him, man. He gotta go play in fucking Chicago and play with that Bears team. Oh,
Just terrible.
it
And
is horrible.
to make matters worse, if y'all remember us talking about the top defensive players, I mentioned Raquan Smith, who Chicago's leading linebacker. He wants a new contract. New management not trying to give it to him, so he's currently holding out. We'll see if that goes anywhere, but I mean, I feel like that would be a nice piece to keep moving forward for the future on that defense side of the ball, but that might not end up being the case, man. But as far as my Chiefs go, man, that first unit, they look great.
Look good.
Hopefully they get another. I'm thinking this week they'll get the whole first quarter possibly, and then the final preseason game week 3, Andy will let them play the whole first half. But we'll see. I think they just played so well on that first drive because I
Seems
want to say
like
it was
play.
probably like Mahomes threw 7 passes. I think we ran the ball like 4 or 5 times. It was a long drive right down the field. Scored a touchdown. Pull them like you see what you need to see for the first game. So I couldn't be mad at it there. And another guy to watch out for. I don't know why teams haven't caught on to it. I mean, I know they have to be talking about this in the film study, but if it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and short, we're literally running a fullback dive to Burton every time. And I want to say he's like 14 for 14 now. Every time we
Damn.
run it, he gets the first down. They line up in a little wing formation. Mahomes misdirect handoff straight to Burton, right up the middle behind Creed, first down every single time. They set it up. They had a 3rd and 1 to start off the drive. I was like, oh, this is definitely a fullback dive. This is the same shit we did last year. Sure enough, fullback dive. He gets like 3-4 yards, first down. I don't know if teams will catch on to it, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Fix it. Yep.
Don't fix it, man. But that's enough for that game. Next up, got the Panthers, the Washington Commanders. I don't even like saying that still.
I don't like saying
that name terrible, man. And Carolina looking like Baker got the starting job. That was definitely the right decision to make. They would be crazy to put Sam Darnold in the starting role. I don't know what to kind of expect out of Carolina. I'm hoping Baker's able to turn around or at least play well enough to get him a contract, a bigger contract or a contract somewhere else. But man, as far as the Commanders go, they said Carson Wentz hasn't been looking good either. So might have to go back on my Cowboys statement.
There we go. There we go. Let's hear it.
Yeah. Cowboys probably finish second, but they're I know Chris and Cam they about to be like, bro, you're still hating.
You're still hating.
Listen, because it's the NFC least, still like you're still one of the worst divisions in football. Yes, the Eagles should be pretty good. Y'all winning second is not an accomplishment. And y'all will probably win second and then go right to the playoffs and lose again. So at that point, that's not a successful year.
It's not successful.
Nothing to build on. Y'all are still going to be in the same predicament y'all were to start this offseason. And y'all still didn't do anything to get better on either side of the ball this year. So yes, y'all might get second just by virtue of Washington, bless you, just by virtue of Washington and New York being that ass that y'all will get to walk y'all's way into second. But y'all will not make any noise. I'm booking that. And you can call me a hater. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
It's be the same thing as
it's the same thing, rinse and repeat.
Year.
Every year. Man.
Same thing.
I don't even know why y'all get y'all's hopes up at this point.
Well, it don't matter if y'all first seed, second seed, third seed, whatever. If when y'all get to the playoffs, y'all know what y'all gonna do. Y'all might win one game. That second round, y'all gonna lose.
It's over.
It's like I told Cam this. Their window is out already. Their window
open.
Their window was when Dak was a rookie quarterback and no one knew how to play him or have film on him.
Either that or the year Dez didn't catch it, which I will
that was
on camera say Dez definitely caught that. They definitely got hold that game.
Definitely caught that. Most definitely caught that.
But I mean, we can't change what the refs do. And that even prompted them to add in that challenge, pass interference, and all that rule the next year, and they still wasn't changing calls. But yeah, that was probably the only other years where it's like, okay, there's a window there. But other than that, no, the shit is shut. There's nothing there. After this year, y'all are probably gonna draft or look to try to find another quarterback with the potential of replacing Dak. Because if Dak
trade him.
Yeah, and gonna have to trade him while he still has some value. Because once they don't do anything this year, what more do you need to see? Because what is this? Year 5 or 6 for Dak?
Might be even more.
And I think that would put him as like 1-3 or 1-4 in the playoffs. So at that point, you've literally seen what Dak can provide for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they didn't do anything in the receiver room to bolster that up. And one of the guys they did pick up, James Washington, fractured his foot like the first week of training camp. It's going to be very rough for them. Michael Gallup not anywhere near coming back. They just said so. We won't have him to start off the season. You're literally gonna have CD Lamb. That's it.
CD Lamb, Dallas Schultz.
And CD Lamb's is cold. Don't get me wrong. I like CD. That's my boy. But with Dak and him being the only receiver, you're not about to have a lot of success that way.
They need one of the other guys to step up. Like they need that Jalen. They need Jalen Tolbert to step up, like that rookie.
They gonna need him to.
They need someone to like just pop up out of nowhere and take the load off of CD and Schultz.
Like they might have to do like Green Bay and have both running backs in the game and put Pollard out wide.
Yeah, I mean that could also work too. That for sure could also work because he a good pass catcher or
Yeah,
running back.
yeah, man. But yeah, Cowboys fans, I'll go on record. Y'all will probably get second, but y'all won't do anything with that. Back
It's
back to
like
the back to the Commanders. Enough
back
with
to him.
the cowgirls talk. I remember if you remember, I was talking about picked up Robinson out of Bama in the backfield. It's looking like he's gonna be the starting running back come out this year. Rivera really likes him. Kind
You
of
think
fits that.
so?
Yeah, he was running with the ones, had some good runs, and on top of that, Antonio Gibson, who was the starting running back last year, he ran with the twos, and then he lost the fumble, and he had a
He do
fumble
have a
problem
phone
last
problem.
year.
Yeah, he
So
do.
it's like if he hasn't improved, and Robinson is running hard, he's probably gonna get those. He's at least gonna start off the game at running back one. They might, shuffle him and McKissick with or Gibson and McKissick in with him, but it's looking like Robinson probably gonna take wide receiver one. And like I said, Carson Wentz, they said has not been looking good. Hoping maybe he could turn that around. Got Terry McLaurin, man. I hurt. It hurts to see him in the bad spot too, because he's definitely a talented wide receiver, and they just don't have much in Washington, man. And that's actually who we play this week. Funny enough,
Jeez.
so I'll be watching that game and tune in to see how they're looking. But yeah, man, nothing much for them or Carolina. Both teams probably going to be at the bottom of their divisions
Man.
come season time. But we can move forward. Colts and Bills.
Bills.
By nobody's surprise, Josh Allen, them starters did not play. It would have been crazy for them to play. They did have kind of some questions regarding Zach Moss, their running back, to see if he was going to make the roster this year because he kind of been struggling these past few years. He looked really good, so he's definitely a lock to make the roster. They said Tre'Davious White. They seen him one time, like the first training camp practice. They haven't seen him since, so he's probably starting the season on the PUP list, which means he'll be out at least the first 4 weeks. So their first round draft pick, Kairi Lom out of Florida, he's actually been splitting reps with another cornerback they took in like the 5th or 6th round, Christian Benford. So they're probably going to be fighting for that cornerback 2, cornerback 3 when White is back spot. So that'll be interesting to see. I heard a lot of fans, and I think scouts were even saying, came out that on the Bills draft board, they wanted McDuffie, who we picked up, but we got him first, and so they went with Elam. So it'll be interesting to see how he fares out, because as of right now, he's splitting time with Benford. So I don't even know if he's the solidified cornerback 2, even though they took him in the first round. So could be. Who knows?
Interesting.
As far as the Colts go,
Oh boy, Sam.
and just hoping Matt Ryan is the answer for them, man. I don't know. Like, yes, he's a good quarterback, arguably Hall of Fame quarterback, which I think we're gonna end up doing one of them episodes. We talk
Got
about
to.
some Hall of Fame prospects. That we'll probably do that this upcoming Sunday, and that we'll drop that next week. But they really still looking for a solidified wide receiver too. But other than that, I think they should still be able to finish first with that defense, and they got enough talent on the offensive side of the ball. I think Tennessee really falls off this year. So it should be the Colts division to lose, but that'll be interesting to see because literally, like, at this point, Matt Ryan has to work. Because if not, then what do you do? Like,
What do you
they've been
do?
trying to find a quarterback now since Luck, and they
Sad.
haven't been successful with anything. So Phillip Rivers got them to the playoffs, couldn't do nothing there. Carson Wentz choked on getting to the playoffs. Now you got Matt Ryan. Hopefully he can turn things around, but it's left to be seen, man. Do know that that defense is stout and that offensive line is top two,
Yep.
if not
Yep.
one. And
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor's a beast. And like I said, they got Philip Lindsay as well. So maybe they can use that running game to kind of, help get some of them receivers open with the play action. But not much to talk about there either. Bills win that game 27-24. I guess one kind of little interesting stat is the Bills punter they picked up who was arguably the best punter in the draft, Matt Araiza out of I want to say San Diego State, punted the ball 82 yards.
God damn.
Yeah. That's for y'all that don't know, like I think the average probably is around the low 50s, maybe mid 50 range for an NFL punter. Dude punted the ball 82 yards, his first punt ever. Like he sent it. And so if he can, when they do have some rare 3-and-outs here and there, because I think that offense is going to be pretty explosive this year, punting is a big part of the game. And if you could control the field and
Man,
get
what?
people
It
stuck
really is.
in their own territory, 5 yards close to the red zone, that's going to be tough, especially with that Bills defense. Going to put pressure on them, and then it's just going to set up easier, shorter fields for that offense. So having a good punter is definitely a weapon, man.
Most
But
definitely. Because honestly, if you think about it, all good teams have good special teams guys on their roster. Special teams really is like it's really underrated. Like because like that can really like
super
that can really like help you win some
win or
games.
lose the
Like
game. Ask
for
Green
real,
Bay.
for real.
Ask Green
Yeah,
Bay.
as Green
Their
Bay.
special teams has lost them a couple playoff games now. And that's also the reason why the Ravens just made Justin Tucker the highest paid kicker ever.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's literally the best, most accurate kicker ever. So of course you gotta pay him because he's won them football games, a lot of them, and will continue to do so. So yeah, special teams definitely a crucial part in helping teams win, and they definitely probably got a great pickup there with the punter and the razor. But moving forward, Seahawks and Steelers. This is actually a pretty good game. I watched. I came in on the second quarter when they were replaying it, so I ended up sitting there and watching it. Back and forth game. Um, as far as the Seahawks go, like I was saying in the previous episode, Gino Smith, Drew Lock, they're probably both neither the quarterback for the future, so they're probably gonna tank this year, I think. But Geno Smith looked pretty good. He went 7 for 10. Pete Carroll went on in the press conference after the game and said he really should have been 10 of 10, had 2 drops, and one where the receiver just didn't run the right route. But he looked good. Drew Lock did have the better stats, but then, like I said, it was a back and forth game. Seahawks get the ball with like a minute left and are driving. Drew Lock gets sacked and fumbles the football, sets up the Steelers to march down and go get a game-winning drive. Who Kenny Pickett threw the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah,
Now that's their first or not first round, but that's their draft pick that's probably the future quarterback guy to replace Big Ben, homegrown out of Pitt. Reports where he wasn't looking too good at practice, but he had a very good preseason game. So maybe he's one of those things where although it might not look that great in practice, some people just perform when it's game time. So that'll be interesting to see moving forward. He might be able to squeeze his way in and get some time this season. Who knows with how Pittsburgh season goes. But man, if you're looking for a wide receiver one still in fantasy draft, man, George Pickens is wide receiver one.
that
Dude
boy a dog.
is a beast. If y'all haven't, go look up some of the reports and some of the clips. He's had training camp, preseason. Dude is catching everything. He looks like he's a veteran wide receiver out there. It's like what 6'2", 6'3", has 4.4 speed, 30
Big
plus,
dude, man.
35 plus. Like he looks amazing, and Sky Moore looks good for us. But going into the draft, it was reported that a lot of mock drafts had us picking Pickens, and I wanted him because I just we never had that big wide receiver who's a stud. And man, as good as Sky Moore might be, they might be like, damn, we might have missed on that one because he was there to take. He is looking like he might be wide receiver one in Pittsburgh. Forget Deontay Johnson, Claypool, forget all of them. George Pickens is wide receiver one. And if you got a chance to pick him up in fantasy, I guess one thing that can maybe deter you is the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh because you don't know who's throwing the ball yet because it's literally a 3-man competition. But man, he's gonna put up some numbers, and you're gonna be able to throw him the ball, and it might not matter who's guarding him. He's been having that type of impact in this short months since training camp and this first preseason game is gone. So definitely keep an eye out for him, man. You heard it here first. I Need a Sports Podcast. Pick him up in your fantasy draft if you got the opportunity, man. After that, got the Dolphins and the Bucks. I don't know what's going on with Tom Brady, man.
I wanted to bring that up.
Go ahead and talk about it because I was looking at it earlier.
He might mess around and just not come back. I mean, that could be a possibility because it's like, why are you taking 2 weeks off for no reason? Like to go clear your head, huh?
I think Giselle might have got on his ass.
Man, I'm telling you, something is like, wow, he might mess around and just
retire again.
Retire. Yeah, like just not come back and just retire. And that'd be wild. He probably looked around and was like, oh hell no. Looked at his office and was, oh hell no.
Can't do this without Gronk.
That's what I said. Didn't they center just got hurt or something like that? Or one on lineman?
Yeah, like we said, I mean, he's the GOAT. But man, if you can't block for him, he is not moving anywhere in that pocket and escaping pressure.
Ain't going nowhere. Going right down.
The crazy thing is they've been saying Julio has been looking, besides Mike Evans, Julio has been looking really good in practice. And I mean, if he can stay healthy, I was gonna be interested to see Tom and him work together. But I was gonna say, watching ESPN right now with this Thursday night game going across the bottom of the screen, said Todd Bowles still has no information on when he's gonna return or what the current update is on Tom Brady. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a serious issue, a family issue, or if he is rethinking retirement. But my gut is telling me like he could like somehow just walk away. Like maybe something isn't right. So I don't know.
It's just a very weird because you don't see this.
You don't see it at all.
You don't see this. Like this is just. It was just random. Like not random. Well, it was random. Like it's just I don't know. I don't know even explain it because it's like you don't see this. No one just leaves the camp and just say I'm gonna take a little break and then come back. No one does that. So he could fuck around and just retire. And I hope he do. I really hope he just don't come back.
I just hope he don't come back. Just stay going, man. Man. Dolphins win the game 26-24. Tyler Johnson and Jalen Darden did look pretty good. Those are a couple wide receivers in Tampa Bay. They're looking to fill out that wide receiver room. And so with them two rising to the top last game and looking pretty good throughout training camp, they might be getting rid of guys like Scotty Miller or like I was talking about Rashad Perriman, who they thought had found a home in Tampa Bay. They've been outplaying those guys. So they might end up getting, that wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 spots. As far as Miami, they didn't really have too much out on the field. We still haven't, we might have to wait till the regular season to see Tua and Tyreek and all them. But They did unfortunately lose one of their cornerbacks, guy by the name of Trill Williams, tore his ACL. And if there's one thing that you could fault their defense on is, yes, they have a good starters in their cornerback room, but they don't have any depth back there. And losing another one hurts. So they're probably going to be looking to pick up somebody with a trade or sign a free agent veteran or something. But they're going to have to shore up some of them corners on the back end because injuries can happen at any time. And if you don't have, God forbid, something happens to Xavier Howard, they might be screwed back there. So they're gonna need to get pressure on the quarterback this year. I will say though, their quarterback number 2, Skyler Thompson, he looked amazing. I know it's preseason, and so you're not playing the best people. But dude threw for 2 touchdowns and like I think 200 yards. Like, hey, if Tua not doing what he's supposed to do, if he's not the most accurate quarterback, like Tyreek said, man, Skylar Thompson
Man,
might take his job, at least for now. He looked great. And of course, like I said, it's just week 1, so you got to see him build on it. But man, they said that was probably one of the best backup quarterback games in the preseason in the last like decade or so. Like he was getting the ball, spreading it out everywhere, and hitting every time, accurate on the dime passes. So, hey man,
never know. I
never
mean,
know.
never know. That'd be crazy to see Tua just get his spot taken like right just like that after he took Jalen Hurst's spot in the national championship.
Hey man, you never know. Tua better come correct. Start off the season. He ain't got no time. Slack off, and they kind of got a rough schedule to start off the year. But man, we gonna see. We still got 4 more games to cover, but gonna take a little break. Got something, want to shout out. Me and Cam have a friend, one of our boys by the name of Nate, started his own clothing brand. It's a Christian-based clothing brand.
Yes,
I'll back up a
sir.
little bit so you can get it into view if my camera kind of pans out. But if you can see here, got the word grow with a rose. And Colossians 2:7, man. Nice shirts. You can get it in this color black. He also has a beige colorway. I think white is on the way soon. As well as there's another alternate design that says grow in a different font. On the back, there's also something on the back too. Look here.
Let's go.
But man, dope shirts. If you're interested, if they look like something you might want to wear, you can follow his clothing page, growing.grown on IG. Man, go check the shirts out. Order them if you fuck with it. I fuck with it. This is a dope shirt. Super soft, super comfortable. My boy hand delivered it to me the other week. So shout out to you, Nate, when you listen to this. But yeah, man, like I said, growing.grown on Instagram. Go check out the merch. Go shop with my boy, man. Can't go wrong. Christian Bay clothing brand out of Houston, Texas. Excited to see him and where this takes him, man.
For
This is
sure.
only the beginning. He's planning to do much more. Just got it started with shirts, but shorts, hoodies, everything is on the way, man. So definitely tune in and follow that page and stay up to date because it's gonna be a lot of merch coming out soon. But with that being said, we'll hop back into these last 4 games and then we'll wrap it up with a few picks for preseason week 2. Next up, I'm just give the mic to you because I know you got a lot to talk about, man. Got the Texans versus the Saints, man. Texans took the game 17-13.
Hey
And
man,
Texans boys,
say,
man, let the people know. Let the people know.
hey man, say man, you know what's going on, man. Let's get into my squad, man. Let's talk about Davis Mills first, man. You know, he came into the game. They let him really do much. I believe he played two possessions and they didn't really open up the playbook. I guess they didn't want to show much or do too much with him, but he really didn't do much, so it wasn't really like mind blowing like what stuff he was doing. But it was a very interesting game actually. We pretty much won it at the end. Threw up a fade, so I believe it was Jalen Kemp or The Johnson guy. I don't know, one or two, but our rookies, man, has actually been balling. Damian Pierce from running back from Florida, he looked explosive. I
I
mean,
was
like,
I was watching some clips of him. He was running that football, man.
oh my God, like I didn't know, like, he's a bigger running back, like a smaller but bigger running back, and he's a power runner, but this guy was like, he was like making cuts like on a dime. I'm like, oh my God, like he kind of surprised me, but it was like everyone was saying, like reports, everyone was saying pretty much that he was the star of the camp, and I could tell because boy, he looked good. I hope he win that running back battle, or at least be behind Marlon Mack or something like that, because right now, reports saying is Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Hey, he keep balling the way he was. I think he definitely, at the very least, he solidifies running back too. Like I said, man, Texans, they're my dark horse to win second in the AFC South. I think Davis Mills season is in full effect. Even though unfortunately Mechie's out with his illness, that wide receiver core, like you said, Nico Collins, a guy to look out for. Still got Brandon Cooks, who I think Brandon Cooks he's still a younger wide receiver. He's only like 27 or so, and he's had 1,000-yard seasons, I believe. Like,
Bro, he been in the league like seven years, and like you said, 6 years he had 1,000. And the one he didn't have 1,000, he was hurt. So
yeah,
it's
so
like,
he's gonna produce.
hey,
So
this might sound a little crazy, what I'm about to say, like a little bit wild, but if he keeps on, getting 1,000 yards and keeps on producing the way he's producing, I mean, he could be a future Hall of Famer if you actually think about it, because he's still young.
he could. I
So
mean,
so like,
he was a vital piece. Unfortunately, he literally he's probably one of the most unlucky wide receivers because literally the year he was on the Rams, they go to the Super Bowl, they lose to the Patriots. Then he goes, or I might have him flip, but the year he was on the Patriots was the year they lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles, and he got knocked out to start off the game with a
yeah,
concussion. But he puts up numbers and he's helped produce winning football time in and time out. So I don't think it's too crazy to say, especially if he's going to keep getting 1,000 yards, because at that point it's like, what can you knock on him?
yeah.
I mean, he can't win the game by himself. Like, and there's other players who've made the Hall of Fame who haven't won rings as well. And if you produce the numbers like that year in year out, it's going to be very hard to argue or make a case against him. But yeah,
For
man,
sure.
he's another one of the guys is like Mr. Consistent. You couldn't go wrong with him as like a wide receiver 3 or like a flex on your fantasy team.
Literally, I take him wide receiver too
Yeah, because
on my
he's gonna be Davis Mills' favorite target.
yes,
So
he was last year, and from reports they saying he's still Davis Mills' favorite target. So I mean, I'm not saying first ballot, but I mean I can see him like sneaking in there if he keeps on producing and getting 1,000 yards. But yeah, nah, man, we looked good. Also, our other rookie Jalen Petrie, he looked very well too. Like he looked like he's gonna be he gonna be an all pro one day. That's how good he looked. I mean, he was on every tackle. He was pass deflections. I mean, that guy. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to get that secondary together.
did
Um,
Stingley get any playing time or did they
nah,
sat him out?
they set him out. He'll probably be set out the whole preseason, I believe, or he
Okay.
might get one game in. But I don't know, man. I just can't wait to see everyone together, and it's very interesting. We gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
I think so too. Like I said, man, that Cleveland game, week 13, man, Max bet the Texans. They're
Max bet
about
that
to make
true.
Deshaun Watson life a living hell that day.
Oh yeah,
And you gonna hear that stadium all across the city of Houston. We'll see what we can do, but we might have to make that a I need a sports podcast vlog or something and go to that
man,
game
might
just
have
to
to,
just to be in
bro.
the atmosphere and post all that, man. But next up, we got the other team in Texas who we touched on earlier. Congrats, Cowboys fans!
How
It's
about
y'all's
the
time to
Cowboys?
get discussed. And like I've said with a lot of these teams we've been talking about, of course, it's preseason week 1. So you don't want to put too much into it. But damn,
They look
16 penalties, bro. Like y'all make it so hard to not talk shit about y'all.
Literally, I'm making it so hard.
Like, how do you have 16 penalties as a team in a preseason game? Like that means everybody from top to bottom is just not doing what they're supposed to do. And I don't even like I'm not even necessarily getting on the team right now. That's a coaching thing. Cause y'all have a penalty problem last year. And obviously, at least for week 1 of the preseason, McCarthy did not harp on that enough. And honestly, Dallas don't do what they're supposed to do this year. They might need to make the switch from McCarthy to Quinn as the head coach. Because Quinn had the opportunity, Dan Quinn had the opportunity to leave and take other head coaching jobs. He said he wanted to stay with that defense another year. If the defense is still good, but the offense is lacking, and that's where, McCarthy's supposed to be a genius and using his analytics now, McCarthy might need to be first out and move Dan Quinn in. But
man, I think they might go after Sean Payton.
yeah, Sean Payton, he's been on a lot of teams' radar, man.
I think they might try to sway him to come over here because he gonna get paid. Jeremy gonna make sure he get paid for sure. So I say watch out for that. That could be a very possibility.
The thing is, call me a hater, but I get it. Sean Payton, offensive genius. But besides that one Super Bowl in 2009, what did he do besides fail year in and year out with Drew Brees? And you're telling me he's just supposed to automatically turn Dak into a Super Bowl winning quarterback? I don't know about that one. I wouldn't be mad at the hire, but I'm just saying, I don't know if I would expect any different results. That's all I'm saying, Cowboys fans. Not hating, but that's just pointing that out. Y'all might get him, but it might be the same exact results. So I wouldn't put too much hype in that. Because that happened, that'll be the first thing. Oh, now we win in the Super Bowl for sure.
Oh, we got Sean Payton. We got Sean Payton.
Yeah. Just saying. Guy had Drew Brees, many talented teams, many years where they came up short. That miracle in Minnesota with Stephon Diggs. The year they should have got that pass interference call versus the Rams.
Oh, that was horrible too. That's one of the worst calls I've never seen.
Yeah, that one, that call, there's nothing they could do about that. But then they still got the ball to start OT, did nothing with it, and then let the Rams march into field goal range to win the game. So like, they've definitely had their fair share of chokes, man. So I don't know about that one, but hey, 16 penalties. If they don't get, I would say they should at least aim for 5 or less this upcoming game, because that's something you need to improve on. And if McCarthy's a good coach, they should fix that problem, because penalties is just discipline.
Yeah, that's all
man.
It is.
And not look good. And I know it's social media, so only the worst of the worst or the best get posted. But me and Cam been sending each other clips this past couple weeks. He just sent me one earlier today of the joint practice that they had with the Chargers. Trayvon Diggs is not looking good. I will say that.
Oh my God.
I know he's all-pro corner, had 11 interceptions last season, but it's going to be very hard to replicate that. And he's looking like he's still giving up a lot of yards. So
it's like he's doing it on purpose. Because, like, bro, literally in the video I sent you, he literally did not turn around. I'm like,
he did it. I will say I'll give props to Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen played it pretty well too. It was a clip that came out earlier today. Justin Herbert rolls out to the right off of play action. Diggs is guarding Keenan Allen in the end zone, but he's literally face guarding him. So his back is to Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert throws it on a dime running. And Keenan Allen didn't put his hands up, because, usually when a DB is doing that, they'll look for the receiver to put their hands up as an indicator, like, okay, I need to try to deflect. Keenan Allen literally waited to the last second and just went like this and caught it. And Trayvon Diggs was just sitting there looking stupid. And then he kind of gave him a pat on the head and was like, got your ass, didn't I? But man, I know that's just one clip, I've seen some other clips of him getting burned by
Getting burned by no names.
CD, some of them no names on the roster. Like, if he not getting them interceptions, man, he gonna need Michael Parsons to get after that quarterback and cause some
In a
ruckus,
hurry.
so they can't have the best pass thrown. But I don't know about y'all Cowboys, man. I don't know. Y'all are gonna have to make me a believer. I will say that. Call me a hater. I don't care. Y'all gonna have to make me a believer. Moving on to that, man. Had the Battle of LA, the defending champs versus the Chargers. Stafford's out because he's been having elbow problems. You know they're not about to play their star quarterback Herbert on the other side of the ball. But one headline to come out this game: the Chargers drafted Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. A lot of people were looking for him to be running back too, but Joshua Kelly, who's been the running back too and for the Chargers these past couple years, he looked really good. So it's literally his job to lose. And as of game one, he did not lose that job just yet. I think he had 6 carries for like 44 yards and a lot of broken tackles. He looked really good on the Rams side. Whitworth retired, so that right guard spot has been open. They drafted a guy named Logan Bruss in the 3rd round, but they had a guy who'd been backing up with Whitworth these last 5 years by the name of Coleman Shelton. He looked really good, so it's looking like he's probably going to be the starting right guard. And man, got Cooper Kupp, got Allen Robinson, lose Odell Beckham, but they got this guy Lance McCutcheon. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right.
They're nice.
He had 2 touchdowns. And like, matter of fact, let me just go look just so I can read it off so I don't get it right. Cause these stats was actually crazy. Where did I see this at?
He's 6'3".
2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, drew 2 penalties. Dude was doing it all.
Damn.
And that's gonna be the wide receiver 3 option. So he's not gonna be drawing the best matchup on defense. And Stafford, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback, top 5 for me, top 10 for you. Like, they just reloaded.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They're definitely the favorite. They deserve to still be the favorite coming out the NFC. Obviously, it's hard to repeat going to a Super Bowl, let alone winning it, or going to Super Bowl, let alone winning it. But man, he looked really good, and that's really scary for opposing teams if the wide receiver 3 is able to produce like that.
Very scary.
Very,
Very scary.
very scary, man. And we'll wrap it up with the last game played Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. The Vikings and the Raiders. Raiders 2-0. So they're off to a good start preseason. We'll see
Raiders.
that keeps up. You know, if you haven't heard, that's who my man here has winning the AFC West.
Yes,
Got
sir.
the Chiefs. We'll do a full pre pick for the whole NFL season coming up right before the official week 1 start. We will be placing a personal bet with each other on that because I got my Chiefs, he got the Raiders. But stay tuned for that. But they look good. The Vikings actually look pretty good too. They're actually they got KJ Osborne as their wide receiver 3. He's been looking really good. So now, and reports coming out of campus, Adam Thielen looks like, I know he was kind of banged up last year, and I was saying he was getting older, but reports out of camp is that he looks like he's in his 2016, 2017 form where he was leading the league in catches and no drops. So you got that. Justin Jefferson, Osborne, new head coach, offensive coordinator Kelly from LA Rams last year. The only question mark is Kirk Cousins.
Literally.
Can he get it done?
And
I
we've been
know
here before.
their defense was horrible last year, but still, man, Kirk Cousins, he hasn't shown he can ever get it done at the highest level in the playoffs. So definitely going to be interesting to look at, man. Green Bay, question mark with their wide receivers. Vikings, they're supposed to be their year. Lions, a very sneaky good team. NFC North, man, that's going to be a fun division to watch this year. Should be a lot of good close games in that division, I think. And like you said, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 2, and he's already set the record for most yards throughout first 2 years. I think he only gets better again this year,
He can
especially if
fuck
Adam
around.
Thielen is healthy and Osborne is playing good. That should help open up more room for him. If you can get him in your draft, man, that's wide receiver one right there.
Oh, for sure. Shit, I was
Lock
about to
that
say,
in
shit, he might be my wide receiver one after this season. Shit.
on me. I will probably be betting his props quite a bit throughout the
Oh
year
yeah.
just to see. But yeah, man. Raiders won 26-20. Like I said, they moved to 2-0 on the preseason. That wraps up a recap of week one. And to end the podcast, we're going to give you a couple picks for NFL preseason week two. Now, we had some stuff come up this week, so we didn't push out our podcast the usual Monday, Thursday. So the Thursday night game is currently playing right now. Last time I looked at the screen, the Bears were up 24-0. I would assume they're still winning. But
They won.
for pick number one, as we mentioned earlier, if you haven't heard, the Ravens don't lose in the preseason. They're currently at a 5-point favorite at Arizona this week. You can lock that in. You can lock the ML in. The ML probably in the 200 range with it being a 5-point spread. So if you want to take their ML and lock it in with another pick, which I'll give you now, I got. Let me go make sure. Let's see. I have the Eagles beating the Browns this week, especially with all the Deshaun Watson news. I think that's kind of some distractions.
For sure.
And I think the Eagles look really good. I would suspect Jalen Hurst probably gets a little bit more time with the ones this week to get them right. So they have them as 3-point favorites. So if you want to pair, Ravens ML, Eagles ML, go ahead. If you want to play them both separately, those are my two picks for the week. I know Cam is with me on the Ravens pick. I don't know if he has another pick too, but I'll open the floor of 10, see what he's got for y'all, man.
Okay, so definitely got the Ravens. Definitely, I'm going to
We're
hammer.
locked in, man.
We're locked in. I'm going to
22 in a
hammer.
row this week. It's
Yes.
our year.
It's our year.
Our year.
Finally, it's our year. It's our year, bro. For real, for real. I'm hammering that Ravens bet for sure. And I got two teams here. I like the Raiders versus the versus Dolphins, but I also like the Saints versus Green Bay in Green Bay. That honestly really that's the Saints really should have beat us last year. No, not last year. Last week because I mean they was up, but then I think they either threw an interception or it was like a fumble recovery or something like that, and that's when we drove the field. But honestly, I mean they didn't look that bad last week, so I can see them beating Green Bay. So yeah, so that's my three teams. I got the Raiders, got the Ravens, and then I got the Saints. All ML, all money.
ML. So
Money.
you heard it here, man. Picks for week two. Got the Ravens ML. Both of us got that one. I got the Eagles ML. Boy, Cam got the Saints ML, who are actually 3-point underdogs. So that's plus money right there if you want to lock that one in. And the Raiders, they're a 1-point favorite. So that's damn near pick 'em right there. So a lot of solid bets. Hopefully, we go 5-0. We sweep these picks, man.
It's our year.
It's our year, man. It's our fucking year, man.
It's our year.
Y'all gonna get this podcast. Y'all gonna get these picks, man. But yeah, man, that wraps up this episode. Preseason week 1 recap. Preseason week 2 picks.
Yes, sir.
Boys, back with another one. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you've listened all the way through, it's your kids from the neighborhood knocking on your door. Can you give us something more, man? Boy Bryce, my dog Cam, we out of here.
We are the kids and we're not